Hey guys, this is Slifer Maniac and I'm dropping today my Ishizu Ishtar deck profile. So first of all, onto her person. She was a personality which was very light and full of light and positivity. She was the relative from the main villain, later main villain of this Battle City arc, Marek, and she tried to stop him from becoming more evil, as well as his brother, which was adopted, Odeon, also tried, but she tried to cause it in another way by a direct confrontation between herself, guys which she recruited like Seto Kaiba, and of course also Yugi and his companions. She had a very Egyptian-like deck, and she had a part of her deck which was clearly just consistent of gravekeepers, but I put that part out because I thought that it would fill up the deck too much. So the main strategy of this deck, which we also got to see in the Battle City tournament quarterfinals, was the strategy which I also put in here, because we did not see any of her gravekeepers. As a result of that, I decided to just stay focused on her, on the appearance of her monster magic and spell and trap cards that we had presented from her during the only duel that she had, which she afterwards, as a result of her loss, were kicked out by Seto Kaiba. She was a very religious person, I would say, and her millennium chain that she had could foresee the future. So she had a role like prophet-like, which was prophet-like. I'm starting, of course, first of all with her monsters, and her boss monster, after my opinion and stance, at least, were to be Obelisk the Tormentor. She had this card in her possession and she gave it then to Seto Kaiba, so she might have battled with this one. I think it fits very well because she was a gravekeeper and she had to protect these kind of holy things, holy reliquia, like the chain or the other Millennium pieces, and of course the three or one of the three god cards. Then I put in there, because I think, as she was a keeper and a guardian of the treasures and the holy reliquias and all the stuff of the ancient Egypt, Guardian Iatus, which was in a later arc one of the boss monsters of, I think even the boss monster of Raphael and the Orichalcos era. But I think it fits because she's a guardian as well, on the one hand, and on the other hand, I think it even looks similar to her. But other than that, I thought also that her deck would be too weak to succeed in any battle if it hadn't been for those boss monsters I put in. So after that, I also have, of course, 2 times Agido, which she clearly used in the battle. Then 2 times Kelbeck, 3 times Keldo, 3 times Zolga, and also 3 times Mudora. These were now her basic fairy type monsters, which were her strategy was based on mainly. And now these monsters that I will also put now into, I just put in her deck a couple months ago because they were released, but do not exist in the anime, as Kelbeck, the Ancient Vanguard, Mudora, the Sword of the Oracle, and Keldo, the Holy Protector, and Agido, the Old Guardian Sentry. So, also Zolga the Prophet. Now these were, I would say, kind of developed forms from the fairy type monsters which I just presented before. So I thought they might come in handy and fit very well in her deck as well as her overall strategy. And then, of course, the Cat of Ill Omen, and the ancient Egypt, the cats were holy, and they were also existing as god. So I thought that fit in this deck very good. Then Mystical Elf. I put this one in her deck as I think in a later era, namely in the era of the Dawn of the Duel, the last era of the first outlines from Yugi's Yugi archetype. She would have clearly, as her past self, used this card in a battle against the main villain, Yami Bakura. Yeah, she called it out, and she had Mystical Elf, so it makes all the sense of the world. Then Cardan the Sage. Now this one, she, I think, in this basic era that I just spoke of, was revealed. This card was revealed as of the main companions of the King of Egypt, Atom. And this is also a fairy type monster, so I think it would be very likely in her deck as well. Now onto her spells. As I just mentioned before, I didn't put the Gravekeepers in, but a spell called Gravekeeper Servant, which does not require any of the Gravekeepers to work properly. Then for fairy type monsters, Chestus from Dagla to increase their attack power. 2 times Book of Moon, which refers to the ancient roots. Spell reproduction, which he clearly had in her hand during the Battle City matches. Graceful Charity. I think she might have played that one out, but as a matter of fact, she needs also draw power, so I put it in her deck. Eye of the Senri. As I just had said, I told that she was a fortune teller, and this spell card works properly in many ways as a fortune teller. In relation to the deck of the opponent, you can always reveal the first card of the deck from the opponent, so it's an opponent spell card, so yeah, it fits very well in her overall subject. Then turned into the grave 2 times. This was a card she actually activated, I think even at least 2 times or maybe 3 times, but I put it in here 2 times, so yeah, I'm certain it was just 2 times, yeah, so I just put it in here also 2 times. Then Swords of the Revealing Light. This was a card that she engaged into the battle with Seto Kaiba to slow his aggressive attack strategy a little bit down. And then the next spell card, just a sec. A Day Full of Peace. It works similar to Swords of Revealing Light, but it's just for 1 turn. So yeah, I think as she revealed in the match against Seto Kaiba itself, that she would now he told her he would play very aggressively, and she said then, and I will put one card set down very peacefully. So I think yeah, it fits into her speech and her the main lines of her character. Then Forbidden Book. She had, as I said, she was a protector of the ancient pieces, and also as ancient temples, etc. So as a result of that, I think in that sense it very fits in that thought that she has to protect things, and also ancient other reliquias like books. Yeah, so I thought it fit very good. Then 2 times Book of the Eclipse. Yeah, that very book, which is artwork here drawn out. You can see it's from an old Egypt style, as well as the Book of Moon. I think it's the Eye of Horus, which is on the front with 2 wings on it. Yeah, so I think it also fits in that, at least in the artwork, into her roots and main character, and yeah, attributes and all. And then onto her traps. She had Exchange Spirit, put in there 2 times because it was one of her main strategies to let the opponent believe that he's clearly winning, and as her graveyard is becoming almost complete, full of cards, and she changes the turn of events, and I think the card works like that you change the deck cards with the graveyard cards, and if your graveyard is full, then you will have a full deck, but if your graveyard is near almost complete empty, and you will have all your cards from the deck in the graveyard. So it's very tricky, a tricky one. Null and Void, just 3 times I put it in there, because she had it, I think, also 2 or 3 times, but I put it 2 times in there. You can combine it with a Senri-Eye and then always take the opponent's hand cards and put it into the graveyard. Then Blast held by Attribute 2 times. That was the very main trap card which he intended to end Seto Kaiba's life points with, if he would was about to summon Obelisk the Tormentor. And the trap card shows on the artwork on the front a sort of virus which then develops itself into the monster, and then eventually is going to explode. Curse of Anubis. Now this trap card, of course, fits also in the theme of the ancient Egypt. Anubis was a god, yeah, it might come in handy if you have a very defensive tactic in your deck, and like she has. Then fitting very appropriate to the Blast held by Attribute is Destiny Explosion, and it refers also to the duel between herself and Seto Kaiba, in which she tried to inflict severe damage on Obelisk the Tormentor with the Blast held by Attribute from the inside. And then, of course, developed form of Exchange Spirit. It's called Exchange of Desperation and Hope. Then Gravekeeper's Trap. Now this trap card was also released in, I think, the end of the last year, as well as the other 2s that I just presented you guys, and it clearly shows her image on the front, so I think it's very appropriate for this deck. And last but not least, Mirror Force. I think, I'm not very 100% certain, but I think that she had this card in her deck and she tried to use it even, but I'm not sure. Not 100%, but yeah, I'm quite sure about it. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this deck profile. I did, and yeah, hit the like and subscribe button and press the bell ring for more content. As I just stated a couple of days ago, that I will very regularly drop corrected deck profiles, and as my cards which I will buy are going, the cards as well as displays and boosters will be here. I will also drop openings and open up a couple of displays and boosters with you guys, so stay tuned for that and have a good evening, a good day, bye.